How's it going, everybody? It's another amazing Thursday. It's a Gear Talk video, and it's me once again, Cody Booker. You can call me Cab. You can call me that guy with B-Cast. You can call me the Squirtle Lover because it's my favorite Pokemon, and that's also my childhood right there. Call me whatever you wish. Call me whatever you want. Making this grand Gravitas entrance. I'm sure I used Gravitas poorly, but we're here. And we're talking about the man himself, Fahz Chutani. Yeah, we're talking about Fahz today. I tried making it seem a lot more like big and entrance heavy because we're talking about Fahz. We barely know anything about him, and we're gonna make a video talking about his character. Oh, strap in, kids. This is gonna be a weird one. Okay, it's not going to be that horrible of a video, I promise you. I actually have things I can talk about involving Fahz. He's actually a character I'm looking forward to in 5 because he seems like he's going to be interesting with what we get with him. Interesting, however you want to say it. So, let's start off just talking about a little bit about him and see where we go from there. So, starting off, his name is Fahz Chutani. Now, a little bit of an interesting little blurb, since I know my geography of the world pretty well when it comes to gears, and by well I mean like maybe 50% of it, because if we ever had a physical map in front of us I could do better. But I can tell you this right now, by what I've seen, by what I've heard with his voice, by how his last name looks, by his skin tone, I'm going to guess that he is Kashkuri. He comes from Kashkir, I'm guessing. Now, if you're wondering where Kashkir is, or where that is, or how I know about it, that would actually be the country that holds Anvil Gate. That's right, Anvil Gate is pretty much in Kashkir. And a little bit of lore-heavy information for you, that's actually where Sam, maybe not even born, but where she ended up being conceived. Because Sam is actually half Kashkuri. She's half Kashkuri on her mother's side, and Tyrion on her father's side. I think I used Tyrion incorrectly. I think I might have mixed something up in my head. I might be thinking of Warhammer stuff. I've been learning that recently. But she's pretty much half, you could say half Cog, half Kashkuri, but Kashkuri kind of is neutral but sides with the Cog in a little ways. So, the reason I say that is because his skin tone really complements the area itself, or it seems like it comes from it. For instance, Sam is half Kashkuri, and if you look at her skin tone, you can definitely tell she comes from that area. Because Kashkir, with Sarah itself, it kind of takes references from Earth and mixes a bunch of cultures or areas. For instance, the South Islanders. They're a mix of New Zealand, Australia, Samoa. They're a mix of all of that, culture-wise and, voice pattern-wise. When it comes to Kashkir, that's like Arabic countries or Arabian countries, and you also mix in England, or the English accent, or even their cultures and stuff. You kind of mesh it all together. Now, it's more Arabic or Arabian, I'm going to get that mixed up, with how their culture is, but for instance, when it comes to their voice or how they see things, it really is a little bit English. You can tell that with how it's meshed. Now, you can kind of tell he's from that area by his last name itself, and I have to write it down because I keep forgetting it. It's Chutani. So Chutani is, if you can tell by how it's kind of expressed or spoken, a bit of an Arabian name to it somewhat. So if you take a look, it kind of seems like it comes from where Sam came from. Now, if you look at Sam's name, that was, and I need to look at hers too because I forget it now and then, Sam Byrne or Byron, however you want to say it, I think it's Byrne. Her name is actually Tyrion, or I keep forgetting the name. Sorry, it's been a busy day. But she gets that from her father's side. Now, the way she acts and her mannerisms are very heavy from her father, because I believe she grew up around the Cog. When it comes to her culture and how she speaks, and obviously her skin tone, that comes from her mother's side. So when it comes to Fahz, I'm going to assume his parents are either both, or at least one of them are from Kashkir, because with how the Locust and Lambent War ended, you pretty much had all of the Cog coming together in one area to try and re-spark humanity. That's kind of how it ended up becoming. So I'm going to guess he grew up heavy with the Cog, but his parents were both from Kashkir, or one of them was from Kashkir, or hell, even his grandparents. I don't know, but it really does seem like he's heavily Kashkir by what we can assume by his name, skin tone, and how he speaks. Now, going on from that, let's talk about his relationships in history, you could say, by what we've gotten out of the trailers. So, for the trailers, we can assume that him and JD knew each other before JD and Dell left the Cog. it does seem like he's got a bit of a rivalry and beef with JD. It doesn't seem like it's a horrible way where they're willing to just go at each other out of nowhere. But for instance, hey, let's have a sparring match. Let's do this. You know, they're civil enough to say what they're going to do, but not civil enough where when JD's got his head turned, Faz is already sizing up and lands pretty much a sucker punch on JD's face. So it's kind of a shaky one there, I would say. But it seems like for the most part, they're not going to kill each other. So going from that to the second, well, technically first trailer, but in the timeline, I would say second. We see JD is now, you know, he's got his own beard, he's bald, his arm's messed up, he's got his scar, he's more serious. It seems like Faz is following his orders to a T. It seems like whatever JD is saying, Faz is pretty much following. So I'm going to assume within that time frame they saw eye to eye about something. So going on from that, and I keep going on a lot just because it's like it's fast. We don't have a lot to go with, so I need to keep skipping forward, unfortunately. Going with that, we do see that Faz, when it comes to how he sees the cog or how he acts, and say hi to the truck outside, when it comes to that, it really seems like he is very dedicated to the cog, or he's not going to leave without any actual major reasoning. It does seem like when it comes to him, he's the muscle. He's going out with his fist. He's a bit sloppy at times because JD could best him. But he's going out and he's fighting for the cog. For instance, when it said, oh, you're going on your little fairy tale mission or you're doing whatever, you know, some of us are actually here trying to do something. That's how he sees it. You know, I think he said something similar to that with JD. But, you know, he says like, oh, you're going on your special little mission or something. Whatever. I'm going to sit here and be a soldier. You know, that's kind of how his mindset is, you know. He's going out on the front line, which we did learn he does go out quite a bit. He's actually out there with his Lancer, you know, and he's actually firing instead of just DBs. He's out there now and then. So he really does seem like the kind that's going out there, like a mix of Baird and Cole, really. He's going out there and he's actually getting his hands dirty, which I enjoy because we learned that that's something that is still going on. I assumed by how the new cog was operating, it was just DBs going out, and all the soldiers and everyone were just based internally at New Afira for the new cog. And they were pretty much sitting there, like, guarding the place while the numbers were getting back to where they needed and the DBs were doing all the work. We do learn that cog soldiers are still going out and doing things. They're not just sitting there playing security in settlements or anything. They are actually out on the field doing stuff. So that was nice to know because we kind of got that with Faz by what we saw. And another thing we get from him leads into what we're going to talk about next. Something that everyone has kind of come to the conclusion to, well, not even conclusion, we all saw it, but what a lot of people are really interested in, you could say, is his cybernetic prosthetic leg. So, something happened to Faz where he lost his leg, and by the look of it, he loses it right from his knee. Like, it's cut off right at the knee, and that's where he lost it. I'm going to guess, because it does state on the wiki he was around for the outsider cog issues. I don't want to say war, because it wasn't a war. They were pretty much just having issues with one another. You know, the outsiders needed power and stuff, so they steal it from the cog, and the cog got angry at them, so they would constantly kind of just go blast, blast. That, no one's really right on that one, but just, yeah. So he was around for that, but I'm not going to say that's what caused his leg to disappear, you could say, or half his leg. I'm going to guess after the Swarm made themselves known. I'm going to assume a few days after they were known or something, because I'm guessing the cog would have thrown everything they had at them at that point, because it's like, okay, new enemy within 24 hours, 26 hours, they're this large, we need to deal with it. I'm guessing the cog threw some things at it. Faz was probably involved, and Faz got in close with probably a drone or something. They got at it, or, oh god, I wish he got in a fight with a Scion. Imagine that. That would speak wonders about his character. He got in a fight with his Scion, and I'm going to guess the Scion pretty much took his leg. It took from the knee up. It could have been a number of things. They could have sawed it off with his own Lancer at the time, maybe. They could have just, like, cut it off. I think what would have been amazing to hear is just with Scions, with how big they are, they go up to him, knock him down, and the Scions, you know, they're still thinking. They're part of a hive mind, but they still have some personality of their own, like what we saw with the Speaker, kind of. I think one of them just got really sadistic and was like, oh, I'm going to have some fun with this. So because of how large they are, just raised up his foot and just stomped it down and pretty much just amputated his leg at the knee with how powerful that stomp was. I'm going to guess that because that would be badass. Oh my God, I can already see it now. So the prosthetic, a joke that's been going around has pretty much been, and I can't believe I'm going to be saying this one. It's a joke again, but it's like if it was true, I would be so ticked. Since his leg is DB technology by what we can see with the style of it, it's assumed like he's going to go evil because of the fact that the cybernetics are going to mess with him or it's going to get infected and turn him. So I really hope not, because Fahz seems like he's going to be a character around for a while. I really hope he doesn't die in 5. I don't. I really enjoy by what we're getting with Fahz. He seems like he's going to be fun. A dick, but a fun dick. Kind of like Baird, but not as fun. So that's kind of all we currently have about Fahz, unfortunately. Again, we've only gotten 2 trailers involving him, one centered around him, which was a cutscene from the game, and the other one an actual trailer where he was first shown. So Fahz is going to be interesting. I'm going to be very interested to see what we get out of him. So thank you guys for watching. Another short one. I know I want to get some longer ones if I can. And again, if you guys don't want longer ones, I can keep them short like this even. But for instance, if I did an actual Dizzy video instead of why I love him, it would probably be quite a few, probably hit 30. I could probably do it with that. But what I'm going to do from here on out, so you guys know, because I figured out the schedule now, leading up to Gears 5 and definitely probably after it, it's going to be a lot of stuff character-wise or environment-wise or weapon-wise or lore-wise, for instance, the books. Or the book that's coming out. I might get to that one sooner than later. I'm going to go over all of that. I'm going to go over and lead into 5 so we have a road paved to get there. Because I noticed when I first started things, I was going to have a system set up, but I just started scatterbraining it everywhere. So I'm going to try staying really focused on getting things ready for 5. So I'm going to stay very orientated towards talking about 5 stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I wish I had more info on Fahz, but we're going to have to get more of that. When we finish 5 and I get more info on him, I'll probably make a revision video. So like Fahz 2.0, I'll call it or something. So you guys have a great one. Have a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. At whatever time you watch this, I greatly appreciate all of it. Have a great one. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that. For a 3rd time or 4th time, have a great one. See you guys next Thursday.